Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Where's BabZ? This is Barbara Talisman, and we're on our podcast with Crissy the Brazilian. How could you not love that name? And here I am when I moved to Puerto Vallarta, and I'm going through all the Facebook groups, and she has this wonderful Facebook group really focused on women and social aspects of living in Puerto Vallarta, and then expanded to include collaboration because she's so collaborative with other organizations and put on other events. So, Crissy, welcome to Where's BabZ, the podcast. And are you in
Thank you.
Puerto Vallarta? Are you in Puerto Vallarta or California now? Where are you now?
I am in Puerto Vallarta, and it's beautiful. It's hot. I love the weather here.
Well, Crissy, I will say, is probably one of the few people who loves it when it's hot and humid in Puerto Vallarta. A lot of people leave during that time of year, but you go back and forth, right?
Yes, I do. I do. Actually, people say you love Vallarta because you are Brazilian. I love it. I love the heat. I like all year.
Yeah. So tell us, how long ago did you make this move where you were sort of half in California and half in Puerto Vallarta, or just going back and forth? So how long have you been down in PV?
Okay. First time I came to Puerto Vallarta was in 2017, but I came for 2 nights. And it was my 2 days of vacation, my days off from work in California. And I could not feel so much what Vallarta was. So in 2020, I was going to take a vacation from work. And I was like, should I go to Brazil? And my boyfriend suggested, let's go to Vallarta. We have friends in Vallarta. We have local people. We have... So I said, let's go. That was when COVID was starting, so businesses were closed. It was very quiet, but it was like a magic in the air. You have to be in Vallarta to know what Vallarta is. At that time, I started to make little videos, the funky videos, no filter, interviewing some of the business owners.
And I think that's where I found you when I was looking at moving down to Puerto Vallarta, and I was on Facebook, and I think when you search for Puerto Vallarta, they came up, and you were kind of sharing, because I moved down there in August of 21, so we're still in COVID a little bit, but it was starting to come out. It kind of came back and forth. But I remember seeing those videos. That's right, because I thought it was when you had your social events, but it was actually during your videos. Yeah,
exactly. So that was I started a group on Facebook called PV Places, where I put little tiny videos of these people, little funny videos, and people start to like. People have no idea what Puerto Vallarta is, the beauty of Puerto Vallarta.
And you do this as a volunteer. I mean, when I went to your events, there was no money exchanged except what I bought a drink or food. So you were doing it, just as you said, to be a people connector. And if it's just to bring people together.
And I remember when I started this new group called Puerto Vallarta, Friends and Events, I was like, I want to tell people that are coming here what Puerto Vallarta is. I want to tell my friends in Europe, in Asia, in Brazil, in the United States, what Puerto Vallarta is. So I started to have like little events here. I start to promote the locals here, a little news about Puerto Vallarta, how is Puerto Vallarta living, how is the weather, because, Puerto Vallarta is a melting pot. Puerto Vallarta Friends and Events. It's a public group, yeah.
And you would pick a bar or a local place or some place with an amazing view.
My joy is to be able to promote other people. They have other groups. My joy is to bring everybody together.
The 3 best hits about living in Puerto Vallarta. And who is thinking about retiring there or thinking about living there more than just for a month or a weekend. What are your tips and things about Puerto Vallarta you think they should know?
Okay, that's my feeling. I am a Brazilian that I lived in Brazil half of my life and half in California, 32 years in California. So coming here now, especially now, it's not so much for the retired people. No, Puerto Vallarta is changing. Lots of young people are coming here, and more than before, the digital nomads. And there is a difference. When you live abroad, like me, I live in several countries, especially being there in the United States, here you feel the family. You see, you walk in the streets. What I love that time you walk and you hear, Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? It's a different culture that touches your heart. When you come, people are relaxed. It's everything about, okay, let's meet. They don't even say what time. They say, let's meet at the sunset.
Yeah.
So when you come to Puerto Vallarta, it's like, yeah, it's alive every day. It's a holiday. Every day is beauty. There is no day the same. Every day that you wake up, when you walk along the ocean, it's different.
That's also part of the lifestyle for me, at least, was those walks along the Malecon, from sort of Rosita all the way down to Los Muertos. That was the start of the day. And you'd meet people and you'd see the same people every morning. Those of us who are living there, walking their dogs or going back and forth. And then at sunset, you'd see them all down at the beach taking photographs of sunset and relaxing. And it is a different pace, right? People are not in a hurry, and you don't, it may not start right on time, and that's okay.
It can be a little different for some people, some cultures. They are used to on time. Here is it's after mañana. So it's wonderful. And the more and more tourists, especially from the United States, are coming here now.
For me, the idea of being in Puerto Vallarta meant that I could also go, like you do, back to California very easily. 2-hour trip.
Wonderful, wonderful.
You go for a weekend, you could go for a weekend and come back or whatever. So I think that whole North American migration, down to Mexico is so easy for everybody. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. What else would you share about living?
No, I think that learning the culture, because, Puerto Vallarta, there are different places depending where you live. Where I was before was more like the Zona Romântica. That's beautiful. Zona Romântica.
So you're in Cinco de Diciembre now, right?
Oh, yes. Now
yes. And we went through the neighborhoods in a previous video that you guys can watch at another time.
So yeah, it's about 40 minutes, like a power walk to Zona Romântica. And the difference is that the Zona Romântica is wonderful. Like I told you, you see all the movie theater, the store, the people. It's like vibrant. When you walk towards Cinco de Diciembre, it's the locals. Most of the business, they close at 7, 8 o'clock. And then when you're walking, you see on the sidewalks the family. You see the grandfather having beer with the grandkid, the mama. They are socializing at night. and it's wonderful. So it's more like calm. It's a different pace from the Zona Romântica. Both are wonderful.
They are, but I think Zona Romântica is set up for the bars and the restaurants and the drag shows and the theater and the movies, and it's set up to go at night, right? Going to the beach club down there because it's quiet that time of day, and then you get into Centro and Cinco and the other neighborhoods. I call them local neighborhoods because I think
exactly.
It's very kind of a tourist neighborhood. It's not that people don't live there, but it's set up for the tourists, and it's wonderful. But it's nice being able to be out of there and then go there when you want, when you want to. Yeah.
Yes. And it's important when you are in a country that you learn the culture. You learn how the Mexicans live, how do they eat when they socialize. It's important to immerse, wherever you are. You go to Brazil, you go with Brazilians, go to the United States. So here, the important thing is come, have fun, safe. I feel totally safe when I walk.
I completely agree with you. Yep. And the Malecon, I'd walk from Centro all the way down to Los Muertos. And if I was out late, then I just catch a cab home, because there were too many people out. And the people that were out, it was families, it was couples. It wasn't sort of, as a single woman, it was very comfortable. Yeah.
And what I like here that the Mexicans, they preserve their culture. For example, the same time that you have the clubs here, the young people flirting and partying, and the tourists, there are places here where you see the old folks, they preserve their generation. So you go to the Los Arcos, every Thursday and the Sundays, they are there at night dancing. They are dancing the salsa. It's beautiful to see.
The mariachis. The gazebo in front of the Church of Guadalupe. They've got orchestras playing. And people are dancing on the on the square. It's wonderful. Yeah. You don't have to know Spanish to be enjoying Puerto Vallarta. I think it's appreciated, and there are lots of ways to learn Spanish, either through immersion. I have to tell you, I didn't take taxis often, but they were the best teachers. Like, they would talk with me as I was going from point A to point B, and I took from American English Tree, the Spanish classes. So you don't have to, because it is a tourist city. People understand English, can just pick up, the right words. It's even more appreciated, because I feel like you can become more part of the community and your locals.
Oh, yeah. New York, when you take the bus, that's safe. You can take Uber here. You learn a lot.
Yeah. What about living and finding some place to live in and discovering neighborhoods? So you were in Zona when you first moved there, and now you're in Cinco. So what was your pathway to find the right spot? But, I love the whole local community area, neighborhoods.
Puerto Vallarta, there is no bad place.
It's true.
There is no bad place. Depend what kind of person you are. If you want to be more like, yeah, party, zona romantica. I mean, I love parties. I love to dance. That's my life. But I also like to come more in a quieter place where I live. We have a wonderful farmers market near, so I can buy fresh vegetables. I can just walk a couple blocks and have everything, banana, papaya, everything fresh. So that's important.
I used to go down to the one in Cardenas Park in Zona. So it was a nice walk, there and back. And there was ready to eat breakfast and ready to eat lunch. And then all the fresh fruits and vegetables and homemade butters and jams and things. And so you are getting really fresh food. And the fish, of course, comes right off the boat. So yeah, it's a wonderful lifestyle. I think it's a cross between being on a permanent vacation, if you want, like you could go to beach clubs every night, every day, and just lay in the sun and relax, or you could take a beautiful walk or a hike up the hill, to the tallest point and see Banderas Bay, or go whale watching, and then you could party your butt off, every night of the week. If you wanted to, you could eat your way through Puerto Vallarta for sure. Everything from vegan and vegetarian to amazing steaks and fish, and on the beach, or Cafe Isabella, beautiful views and things like that. So it's a place that has something for everyone. And you kind of find your niche. And why I went to talk to you is because I had set up my own Facebook group, and then there were a bunch of them in Puerto Vallarta. And I think it's true of communities all over the world that have expat communities, right? Facebook has become sort of this connector. So, and then you find people, and if you're all in Puerto Vallarta together, you decide to have a coffee together. You can just start there. You don't have to dive right in to one of Crissy's amazing events, but you might find two people on the Facebook page that you'd like to get together and have some coffee with. So
but keep informed. But the most important thing, that Puerto Vallarta is magical. Once you are here, you have to come to feel.
I could come back to America if I needed to, but it's also a place that you can get healthcare if you need it, whether you're resident or not, you can get healthcare. There's sort of a difference in price. You can buy anything you need. So, coming down with one suitcase and dealing with the rest later, whatever you want to do. You can find furnished or unfurnished places for short or long term. So you can I've told people, just like go down for a month and look around and walk the neighborhoods, and so when I did this neighborhood review, I went from Nueva Vallarta all the way down to Zona and Alta Vista and Amapas, right? What I just said is, I said, look, it's fine if you want to live like a North American, then go to Nueva Vallarta. Brand new condos, nice, clean, even sidewalks. I think that there's something for everybody, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to live overseas, kind of, or out of your own country, and then decide if that's something. And of course, it's very appealing to a lot of folks because of the cost. So it has gone up a little bit, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, the rents are more expensive. Properties are more expensive because it's the demand. Movie companies are coming here to Puerto Vallarta, especially Centro Malecón, and making movies.
So we're going back to where Puerto Vallarta started.
I know. I was walking the other day. I was like, oh, am I in Hollywood or am I Santa Monica? I mean, or am I in Puerto Vallarta? So yeah, so they are coming, making movies here.
Well, that's interesting because that's where Puerto Vallarta started, with The Night of the Iguana and Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. So it's full circle,
Yes. Oh yeah.
2023 from
Oh yeah.
1959. Wow.
You should see, they closed the Malecon, if people cannot go see the actors. And the interesting, when I first start to come here, I felt that brought me to Brazil 30 years ago. Puerto Vallarta, you can find boats, you can find the most luxurious resorts, beautiful, and you can like more humble places. So it's good that you can walk and you can feel both.
I was
To
just
enjoy
gonna say,
life.
and you can find a place that's comfortable for you. You know,
Yes,
that has that
yes.
variety. I mean, the prices are going up, so you have to decide what your budget is, but you can still find a variety. So what you find in Cinco or Centro is still going to be less than Zona
Oh,
Romantica or Hotel Zone or Nuevo Vallarta, but you can find something in
oh
any
yeah.
price range, and you just sort of, you decide on what the compromise is: air conditioning, up the hill, down the hill, all sorts of things. But that's why I think just coming for a month, and even if you were there for a month, and I've told people to go onto your Facebook page and other pages and find what events are happening and
Yeah.
plan your trip. So if you find that there are going to be like 3 events happening in the next month, well, that's when you should go. Because that way you'll get to meet people, you'll get expats, you'll get locals, that sort of thing. And if it's weather, then most people, Crissy, don't want to be there this time of year. But if
I
you love
know.
hot and humid, then that's the time to go.
The air conditioner and yeah.
So but look at the weather report. Do you listen to Paco Ojeda? Do you watch him?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So that's also a great source of information.
It is.
It's every morning, 9:30. It runs for about an hour, half an hour or so. And so I watched that for probably a couple months before I came down. And then I watched it, after I was down there. So to get that information from locals before you come down and find these Facebook groups, and then, the maps of Puerto Vallarta are plentiful and talk about all the neighborhoods. And it is a place, that you could decide to be a slow mad and do the digital nomad thing for 3 months. You could decide to take an apartment. I think, you can get an apartment 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. And obviously the longer you rent it, the cheaper it is, right? Like anywhere, actually, right? But you could decide just to try it for 3 months and keep your apartment or your home back wherever it is. And then say, okay, I'm done. That's it. I'm in. Like, yes.
I just say life short, enjoy life.
Oh,
enjoy life, enjoy life. Come here. The ocean is magical. You see the people. Just enjoy life because we are here, and here we have everything. We have the sun. We can come, but follow your thoughts. If you don't like the heat so much, come after September. Everybody's different.
Well, and other people go up to the mountains. So they live in Puerto Vallarta and they go up to the mountains in the cold weather, in the warm weather. And the mountains are like 20, 30 degrees cooler without humidity with these beautiful breezes. So
the sunsets, like I can see behind you, they are special.
That was from my beach, right 3 blocks from my house in Puerto Vallarta. Loved it.
You have to be here to feel. It's really magical. Yeah. Come to Vallarta. Guys,
I knew talking to you. You guys, this, to our viewers, this was not set up as an advertisement, but Crissy and I had embraced living there. Beautiful weather and beautiful people. And for me, the water, Crissy, I'm like, I didn't realize what a water person Pisces I was until I was actually living on that Banderas Bay, which is just beautiful and huge and luscious. And like any city, doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether you're at home or traveling, you find your people and you find your place, right?
Yeah.
You're able to sort of just carve out your life there. Taking Spanish, doing clay classes, there's ceramic classes. I mean, there's all sorts in the Botanic Gardens, which you talked about with John Schmidt, and the Cultural Center, and IFC doing the house tours. I mean, there's just so much to do when you're down there. So don't think of it as only tequila, and margaritas, which
exactly
do, but there's a life here. There's a life here that you can have.
What I think, like, nothing's perfect in life, but you make perfect.
There's always a beautiful sunset, and go for a walk along the beach. That seems to make everything better.
Oh yeah.
Or go to one of Crissy's events. So either one makes the day or the week better.
Oh, I just love people. I love life.
Yeah. Crissy, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Where's BabZ podcast and sharing, and all that you've done in PV to bring people together.
And like they say here, Gracias a ti.
Nada,
Gracias.
nada. Have a wonderful day.